Foster, and I'm a second grade teacher at Nevada City Elementary School, and my students would really love to read to you today. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tyler S. And my book's name is The Camel's Nose. One cold night, a man was sitting inside his tent. Suddenly, the man's camel stuck its nose under the flap of the tent and said, "Master, be good enough to let me put my head inside the tent, for it is so cold outside." "Very well," said the man, "you may put your head inside my tent." So the camel put its head into the tent, and then in a little while the camel said, "Good master, pray let me to put my neck into the tent. Also, I may catch a chill if my head is warm and my neck is cold." "Very well," replied the man, "you may put your neck into the tent too." After a little while, the camel said again, "King, master, also me to put my 4 legs into the tent. They take up only a little room, and it is uncomfortable standing this way." "Very well," said the man, "you may do so." The man moved over to take room for the camel, for the tent was very small. Then in a little while more, the camel said, "Generous master, permit me to stand in the way inside the tent. I keep the flap of the tent open standing this way, and the cold air rushes inside." "Very well then," said the man, "you may come all the way inside." The camel crowded its way into the tent, but the tent was too small for both man and camel. Was too small for both man and camel. I think that they're okay. Thank you for listening to me. If you would like to check this story out, you
go to the library.
Go to your local library.
Hi, my name is Christian, and I'm going to read Dragons and Giants. Frog and Toad were reading a book together. "The people in this book are brave," said Toad. "They fight dragons and giants, and they are never afraid." "I wonder if we are brave," said Frog. Frog and Toad looked into a mirror. "We look brave," said Frog. "Yes, but are we?" asked Toad. Frog and Toad went outside. "We can try to climb this mountain." Frog, "That should tell us if we are brave." Frog went leaping over rocks, and Toad came puffing up behind him. They came to a dark cave. A big snake came out of it. "Hello, lunch," said the snake. When he saw Frog and Toad, he opened his wide mouth. Frog and Toad jumped away. Toad was shaking. "I'm not afraid," he cried. They climbed higher and they heard a loud noise. Many large stones were rolling down the mountain. "It's an avalanche," cried Toad. Frog and Toad jumped away. Frog was trembling. "I am afraid," he shouted. They came to the top of the mountain. The shadow of a hawk fell over them. Frog and Toad jumped under a rock. The hawk flew away. "We are not afraid," screamed Frog and Toad at the same time. Then they ran down the mountain very fast. They ran past the place where they saw the avalanche. They ran past the place where they saw the snake. They ran all the way to Toad's house. "Frog, I am glad to have a brave friend like you," said Toad. He jumped into the bed and pulled the covers over his head. "And I am happy to know a brave person like you," Toad said. Frog, he jumped into the closet and shut the door. Toad stayed in the bed and Frog stayed in the closet. They stayed there for a long time, just feeling very brave together. Thank you for listening to me read.
Smile.
Hi, my name is Cheyenne, and I'm going to be reading Bat Bones and Spiders too. It was Halloween. Henry Hooper was worried. He was walking home with his new friend Artie Doomsday. Henry had never been to Artie's house before. It was a big old house that sat on top of Gloomy Hollows Hill. Everyone called it Haunted Hill. Henry shivered. Your fingers in the way. Come on, Slowpoke, said Artie. Granny can't wait to meet you. Henry had no choice. He walked faster. He hoped Artie didn't hear his teeth chattering. If only he could think of a joke. Henry and Artie liked monster riddles. It didn't matter if they were silly or scary. Hey, Artie, what ride do ghosts like best? Henry thought a second. The roller coaster, he said. They slapped high fives. Henry took a deep breath. Once they had some riddles rolling, maybe he'd feel better. Why was the baby vampire crying? Artie shrugged. He just had a bite me, a voice said. Henry spun around. There was nothing there but a tree. Who said that? He whispered. That's my sister Wanda, said Artie. He pointed up at the tree. Henry thought he saw a giant bat hanging upside down. Artie's sister jumped off the branch. She was dressed like a vampire. She swirled her purple cape and stuck out her fake fangs. Henry stepped back. Maybe those fangs weren't fake at all. Your fingers in the wind. Hi, Henry, Wanda said. That was a good riddle. Wanda gave Henry a push. Come inside and meet Granny. She's been waiting for you. That's what I'm afraid of, thought Henry. Howling Hiccups, Chapter 2. Granny Doomsday opened the door. She wore an old witch's hat and a long dark dress. You must be Henry, she said. They shook hands. Granny's hand was cold and bony. Henry's hand was cold and sweaty. Granny laughed a witchy laugh. Henry wanted to run. My, you're pale as a ghost, she said. Let me... Oh. Thank you for letting me read this story. If you want to hear the rest of it, check it out at your local library.
Hi, my name is Angela, and I'm going to read Mushroom in the Rain. One day, an ant was caught in the rain. Where can I hide, he wondered. He saw a tiny mushroom peeking out of the ground in a clearing, and he hid under it. He sat there waiting for the rain to stop, but the rain came down harder and harder. A wet butterfly crawled up to the mushroom. Cousin Ant, let me come in from the rain. I am so wet, I can't fly. How can I let you in? Said the ant. There is barely room enough for one. It does not matter, said the butterfly. Better crowd than wet. The ant moved over and made room for the butterfly. The rain came down harder and harder. A mouse ran up. Let me in under the mushroom. I'm drenched to the bone. How can we let you in? There is no more room here. Just move a little closer. They huddled closer and let the mouse in, and the rain came down and would not stop. A little sparrow hopped up to the mushroom, crying, my feathers are dripping. My wings are so tired. Let me in under the mushroom to dry out and rest until the rain stops. But there is no room here. Please move over just a little. They moved over and there was room enough for the sparrow. Then a rabbit hopped into the clearing and saw the mushroom. Oh, hide me, he cried. Save me. And a fox is catching me. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to check out the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
Hi, my name's Eric, and I'm going to read The Three Wishes. Once upon a time, a man and woman lived by the forest. They were woodcutters. Every day they went into the forest where they worked long and hard. They cut down trees, cut them into logs, and carried the logs home to sell for firewood. But no matter how long and hard they worked, there were times that they did not earn enough money to buy good food to eat. One day while they were working in the forest, they noticed a huge oak tree. That tree is so big that we can cut many, many logs from it, said the woman. We could sell the logs for a lot of money. The man raised his axe and swung at the tree as hard as he could. No sooner did the axe hit the tree than the man and woman heard the saddest voice they had ever heard. Suddenly, a tiny woman was standing in front of them. "Oh, please," she cried, "please don't cut down my tree." They were so surprised that they could not say anything at first, but finally they agreed to leave the tree alone. "To thank you for your kindness, I will grant your next 3 wishes, whatever they are," said the tiny woman. Then as suddenly as she appeared, she disappeared. "We should think carefully about these wishes," said the man. "Yes," agreed his wife. "I think we should go home so we can sit down and talk about it." So they started to walk, but they were a long way from home, and after a while, the man stopped. "You know," he said, "we could wish for a horse and wagon to carry the wood." "That's so," said his wife. Then they walked some more. Then the woman stopped. "You know," she said, we could wish for a big house with a fine garden." "That's so," said her husband. Then they walked some more. Because they stopped and talked every time they had another idea for a wish, it took much longer than usual to get home. They settled down to talk about their 3 wishes. They remembered all the ideas they had talked about on the way home. "We could wish for a horse and wagon," said the man. "We could wish for a big house," said the woman, "or a bag full of money, or a box full of jewels. We could wish never to be hungry again," said the man. "That would be good," said the woman. "To tell you the truth, I'm hungry now." The man said the man, "Isn't it time to eat?" "Not yet," said the woman, "but I'm so hungry." Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
Hi, my name is Kyle, and the book that I'm going to read is The Simple Prince. There was once a prince who longed to live a simple life. He was tired of idle foolishness and fancy dress balls. So he clapped his hands 3 times to call his servants. "Bring me some plain clothes," he demanded. "I am going out into the world to live the simple life." The servant found a plain suit and a plain hat as well. The prince clapped his hands 3 times and ordered a simple picnic lunch to eat on his way. Then he rode off to find the simple life. He rode for many hours until at last he came to the
house of a poor farmer. If I cannot live a simple life here, said the prince, then I cannot live it anywhere. He got off his horse and went to the door. He clapped his hands 3 times. Nothing happened. He snapped his fingers. He tapped his toes. At last he grew impatient. Open up, he said. He ordered. The door was open. The farmer looked out. I have come to live a simple life, said the prince. He walked inside. The farmer stared at his wife. The wife stared at the prince. The prince did not notice. Instead, he went around the room with his handkerchief to his nose. What an awful smell, said the prince. Is this what comes for living a simple life? No, said the farmer's wife. It comes from making cheese. Cheese, said the prince. He sat down on a stool and clapped his hands 3 times. I want some cheese and a cup of tea to go with it. I have been on the road so long looking for this. Hi, my name is Kyle. If you want to check out the rest of the book, check it out at your local library.
Thank you. Say thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Kara, and I would like to read to you Dragons and Giants. Frog and Toad were reading a book together. The people in this book are brave, said Toad. They fight dragons and giants, and they are never afraid. I wonder if we are brave, said Frog. Frog and Toad looked into a mirror. We look brave, said Frog. Yes, but are we? Asked Toad. Frog and Toad went outside. We can try to climb this mountain, said Frog. What should that should tell us if we are brave? Frog went leaping over rocks, and Toad came puffing up behind him. They came to a dark cave. A big snake came out of the cave. Hello, Lunch, said the snake when he saw Frog and Toad. He opened his wide mouth. Frog and Toad jumped away. Frog was shaking. I am not afraid, he cried. They climbed higher, and they heard a loud noise. Many large rocks, stones were rolling down the mountains. It's an avalanche, cried Toad. Frog and Toad jumped away. Frog was trembling. I am not afraid, he shouted. They came to the top of the mountain. The shadow of a hawk fell over them. Frog and Toad jumped under a rock. The hawk flew away. We are not afraid, screamed Frog and Toad at the same time. Then they rolled down the mountain very fast. They ran past the place where they saw the avalanche. They ran past the place where they saw the snake.
Thank you for listening to me read. If you would like to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
Stay.
Hi, my name is Rose. I'm going to read The Boy Who Cried Wolf. A boy was sent to look after a flock of sheep. They glanced near a village. It was raining and he was bored, so he decided to play a trick on the villagers. Woof woof, he shouted as loud as he could. There's a wolf attacking your sheep. Out ran all the villagers. Whatever they were doing to drive away the wolf. When they rushed into the field and found the sheep as quite safe, the boy laughed and laughed. The next day the same thing happened. Woof woof, shouted the boy. And when the villagers ran into the field and again found everything quiet, he laughed more than ever. On the third day, a wolf really did come. Woof woof, shouted the boy as the sheep ran wildly in all directions. Oh, please come quickly. But this time the villagers ignored him because they thought he was only playing tricks as he had done before. And can you guess what happened next? Thank you for listening to me read.
Hi, my name is Eva. I'm going to read this story called The Legend of the Blue Bonnet. Great spirits, the land is drying. Your people are drying too. The long line of dancers sang, tell us what we have done to anger you. And this drop. Save your people, tell us what we must do, so you will send the rain that will bring back life. For 3 days the dancers danced to the sounds of the drums. And for 3 days the people called and waited. And even thought the hard winter was over, so no hailing rains came. And our hardest on the very young and very old. Among the few children left, a small girl named She Who Is Alone. She sat by herself watching the dancers. In her lap was a doll made up out of a warrior doll. The eyes, nose, and mouth were painted on with the juice of berries. It was bedding and a feathers from a bird who cries, Jay, Jay, Jay. She loved her doll very much. Soon, She Who Is Alone said to her doll, will you go off alone into the top of the hill to listen for the words of the Great Spirits. Thank you for letting me read. If you want to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
Hi, my name is Jerica. I'm going to read Molly the Brave and the Queen. Molly has guts. She has more guts than anybody in the second grade. She can stand at the top of the monkey bars on one foot. She doesn't mind it when Nikki hides dead water bugs in her desk. And if big kids pick on her, Molly tells them to get lost. Molly is so brave. I wish I was like her. Today on lunch line, Molly said to me, Beth, can you come to our house in the country this weekend? It is lots of fun there. Wow, I guess Molly really likes me. That made me feel good. But I have never been away from home. What if I get homesick? What if they eat stuff I don't like? What if there are lots of wild animals? I was not sure I wanted to go. I sat at a table with Molly. I said, gee, Molly, it sounds neat, only I don't know if my parents will say yes. That night, Molly's mom called my mom. My mom said, yes, so how could I say no? It was all set. Molly's parents were going to pick me up on Saturday morning. Friday night, I packed my stuff. Later, my mom tucked me in bed. I'm scared I'll miss you, I said, but I bet I'll cry all the time. Then Molly will think I'm a big baby and she won't like me anymore. My mom hugged me. You will have fun, and Molly will understand if evil. Molly will understand if you are a little homesick. Then my mom kissed me 2 times. One kiss for tonight, the other for tomorrow night. Thank you for letting me read this book. If you want to hear the rest of it, check it out at your local library.
Hi, my name is Rochelle, and I'm going to read A Pair of Red Clogs. A pair of old cracked wooden clogs. I found them last night in a storeroom of my house when I was looking for a box to send a new pair of clogs to my little granddaughter. The new pair is painted with red lacquer and they shine beautifully. The old pair is also painted with red lacquer. When the old pair was new, I was as young as my granddaughter is now. One evening when I was as young as my granddaughter is now, I was shopping with my mother in a small town in the country. Where we lived, there were many stores along the main street. At the end of the street, there was a small tobacco shop with a red painted post box in front. I loved to go into this shop
because wooden clogs were sold there too. I was going to choose a pair of them to wear to school starting the next day, just one pair. There were many clogs of many colors, a black pair, 2 blue pairs, 3 yellow pairs, 4 red pairs, and 5 white pairs, and many, many more than that. All were arranged in order on wooden stands under the lights behind stands. There were shelves with other pairs of wooden clogs. The blue would be nice if when I wear my blue dress, I thought, but the yellow ones would be nice also. Which pair would you like, little girl? Asked the lady of the store. Blue, red, yellow. I wondered for a long while. My mother was looking at me smiling quietly. I thought, and finally decided to take the red ones. They were painted with clear red lacquer, and there was a strong of red and black on each clog. It was almost dark when we went out of the shop with the new clogs in my hands. Lights were on in the store, and the goods of the stores looked very pretty. Under the lights, polished apples looked as if they were painted. Thank you for listening me read. If you want to hear the rest of the story, check out at your local library.
Smile.
Hi, my name is Steven. The book that I'm reading is The 3 Wishes. Once upon a time, a man and a woman lived by the forest. They were woodcutters. Every day they went into the forest where they worked long and hard. They cut down trees, cut them into logs, and carried the logs home to sell for firewood. But no matter how long and hard they worked, there were times that they did not earn enough money to buy good food to eat. One day, while they were working in the forest, they noticed a huge oak tree. That tree is so big that we can cut many, many logs from it, said the woman. We could sell the logs for a lot of money. The man raised his axe and swung at the tree as hard as he could. No sooner did the axe hit the tree then the man and woman heard the saddest voice they had ever heard. Suddenly, a tiny woman was standing in front of them. "Oh, please," she cried, "please don't cut down my tree." They were so surprised that they could not say anything at first, but finally they agreed to leave the tree alone.
To thank you for your kindness, I will grant your next 3 wishes.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me read. If you want to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
Hi, my name is Andy. I'm gonna read Dragons and Giants. Frog and Toad were reading a book together. The people in this book are brave, said Toad. They fight dragons and giants, and they are never afraid. I wonder if we are brave, said Frog. Frog and Toad looked into the mirror. We look brave, said Frog. Yes, but are we? Asked Toad. Frog and Toad went outside. We can try to climb this mountain, said Frog. That should tell us if we are brave. Frog went leaping over rocks, and Toad came puffing up behind him. They came to a dark cave. A big snake came out of it. Hello, Lunch, said the snake when he saw Frog and Toad. He opened his eyes wide. His mouth. A Frog and Toad jumped away. Toad and was shaking. I am not afraid, he cried. They climbed higher and higher, and they heard a loud noise. Many large stones were rolling down the mountain. It's an avalanche, cried Toad.
Andy.
If you want to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
Thank you. Say thank you.
Thank you for letting me read to you. Hi, my name is Jasmine, and I'm going to read the story, The Legend of the Blue Bonnet. Great spirits, the land is dying. All people are dying too. The long line of dancers sung. Tell us what we have done to have done to anger you. End this drought. Save all people. Tell us what we must do. So you will send the rain that will bring back life. For 3 days, the dancers danced to the sound of the drums. And for 3 days, the people called Comanche, watch, and waited, and even thought the whole winter was over. No killing rains came. Drought and women all dressed on the very young and very old. Among the few children left was a small girl named She Who Is Alone. She sat by herself watching the dancers. In her lap was a doll made from black skin. One
doll, royal doll, the eyes, nose, and mouth were painted on belt of polished bone. On it said, "Roll, blue feathers from the food he cried, J, J, J." She liked her doll very much. Soon she who is alone said to her doll, "The chairman will go off alone to the top of the hill to listen for the words of." Hi, my name is. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lucas, and the book I'm going to read today is A Man Named Washington. A long time ago, there was a boy named George Washington. He lived on a big farm with a lot of land and fields and tall trees near the house. George liked to ride his pony around the farm and talk to the men who worked for his father. They took care of the land and grew food and looked after the animals, the cows, pigs, and chickens. George had a big brother. His name was Larry, but George did not know Larry because he was far away across the sea in England. Every night, George's mother told him a story. "England is far away," said his mother. "Long ago, men came here from England. They came across the sea to America to stay. Then more men and women came. Their children grew up and had children here. So you see, now we live in America." "Tell me about England," said George. "There is a king in England," said his mother. "He is our king too. He makes the laws for us. We must do as he says." "I want to see Larry," said George. "Oh, you will," said his mother. "He will come home one day to America." George went to school. He learned to read and write his name, George Washington, and add 3 + 3 is 6. He played with the other boys at school and grew tall and strong. When his father gave him a horse for his birthday, he was very happy. "I'll gallop all over the farm," he said. One day, a big grown-up man came to the door. It was Larry. "I am a soldier," said Larry. "In England, a soldier wears a red coat." He showed George his gun and his coat. "Someday you may be a soldier too," he said. George was still a boy when his father died. Then he went to live on Larry's farm. He learned to ride in the woods. He learned about land, how to measure it, and make a map of it. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
Don't stand up.
Hi, my name is Tyler D, and I'm going to read The Simple Prince. There was once a prince who longed to live a simple life. He was tired of idle foolishness and fancy dress balls. So he clapped his hands 3 times to call his servants. "Bring me some plain clothes," he demanded. "I am going out into the world to live a simple life." The servants found a plain suit and a plain hat as well. The prince clapped his hands 3 times and ordered a simple picnic lunch to eat on his way. Then he rode off to find the simple life. He rode for many hours until at last he came to the house of a poor farmer. "If I cannot live the simple life here," said the prince, "then I cannot live it anywhere." He got off his horse and went to the door. He clapped his hands 3 times. Nothing happened. He snapped his fingers. He tapped his toes. At last he grew impatient. "Open up," he ordered. The door was open. The farmer looked out. "I have come to live the simple life," said the prince. He walked inside. The farmer stared at his wife. She stared at the prince. The prince did not notice. Instead, he went around the room with his handkerchief to his nose. "What an awful smell," said the prince. "Is this what comes from living a simple life?" "No," said the farmer's wife. "It comes making cheese." Cheese, said the prince. He sat down on a stool and clapped his hands 3 times. "I want some cheese and a cup of tea to go with it. I have been on the road so long looking for the simple life, I am quite starved." The farmer looked at his wife. She shook her head. "No good will come of this," she said. The farmer just smiled. She cut the prince a slice of cheese. Thank you for listening to me read. If you would like to hear the rest of this story, check it out at your local library.
We love reading!
What do you love?
Reading!
Where do you go to school?
NCE!
And what grade are you in?